The scientific community is telling us that we're looking at a cataclysmic crisis in terms of climate. Oregon is burning. California is burning. People are drowning in New York City. Detroit, flooding. Siberia, largest fire on Earth. Drought all over the world.
Valerie, countries will need to reach an agreement on how to deal with the loss of biodiversity. So what exactly is on the table?
Well, there certainly is a sense of urgency here in Marseille, and you only need to look at the data to understand why. 1 in 4 mammals, 1 in 8 bird species threatened with extinction. 80% of insects have already disappeared. The IUCN is expected to release its updated red list of threatened species, which will most likely confirm what experts have been fearing all along, that we are facing a biodiversity crisis.
And devastating the coastline, with hundreds of millions of mussels literally cooked alive. An event so extreme, but with more than twice as much scorched earth compared to this same time last year. Tonight, a record already on track to be broken.
Massive amounts of dead fish are washing ashore all across Tampa Bay. Beaches are closed. Crews are racing to clean up the smelly, decaying bodies or fish. Local experts say it's early in the season to see concentrations of red tide this high.
The images here are astonishing. Thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dead fish floating in the water.
These massive fish kills continue to be a major problem in the Bay Area.
The city says the massive amounts of dead fish started washing up in St. Pete waterways about 10 days ago. But emergency officials say in the last 24 hours, they've cleaned up more dead fish than in the past week.
Dead fish littering the shorelines across Tampa Bay.
I've been coming here for 10 years. I mean, this is the worst it's ever been.
Exploding in size. The fire in Oregon, just one of 70 wildfires raging across 12 states.
The Bootleg fire is now 7 times the size of San Francisco.
Flash flooding is threatening millions of people. Just look at Newark, New Jersey today after storms rolled through there. And the West cannot catch a break.
The Tamarack fire in Northern California grew exponentially overnight.
Smoke from that fire in Oregon now clouding the skies over Utah. Extreme conditions leading to extreme concern.
This morning that at least one person is dead. These are images of the destruction coming in this morning, showing walls that have crumbled and light poles that have collapsed into the streets and onto cars. This quake was centered about 10 miles outside of Acapulco, but the capital city, buildings swayed there in Mexico City. That is 200 miles away from the epicenter of this quake, and we have seen images of power flashes lighting up the sky as the ground shook, and people running into the streets for safety. Mexico's National Civil Defense said that it was conducting reviews in 10 states, and outside of the one person we know that has passed away, there were no other reports of serious injuries or catastrophic damage. Still a frightening night for people in that region.
From America to Europe and Russia, extreme weather is breaking records.
There was so little time to run, people tell us. Look at the force of this flood.
The region has seen record high rainfall over the past 24 hours.
Oh my God! What's this here?
Towns and villages across Western Germany have been battered. Houses, businesses, livelihoods destroyed in a matter of hours. Thousands of people left homeless across this region.
Expansionist China is now looking at the skies. It has revealed plans to drastically expand on experimental weather modification program covering an area of more than 1.5 times the total size of India. China has long sought to control the weather by seeding clouds. The process works by injecting small amounts of chemicals like silver iodide into clouds, causing them to precipitate. The technology has been used to create artificial rain and snow, but the massive push ostensibly for domestic use is sending alarm bells ringing in India.
Now they must also be looking at solar radiation management, carbon dioxide removal, those kind of projects which are much more alarming than the cloud seeding kind of geoengineering projects. But the scale of the project itself, as discussed by China, is something that is alarming because of the kind of impact it could have on the ecosystems, it could have on the neighboring countries, especially with the monsoon patterns being affected.